Y2K, the newest comedy, out on the big screen, so let's talk about it. So, Y2K is the comedy movie that is now out that is based around that theory that the computers were going to take over the world in the year 2000. Can't believe that was 24 years ago, man. That's crazy. So, I remember this whole thing about the computers taking over back then. It was the end of the world. Well, this is the comedy version of that thing. What would happen if this actually happened? So, look, firstly, this movie, it has a lot of cheesy stuff in it. Yes, it does. It has a lot of cringe, corny things in it as well. Yes. But it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's one of those comedies where it feels like this is the end. It's one of those comedies where if you don't take things seriously in this movie, you're going to have a lot of fun. But if you start to think about it and be like, that doesn't make sense, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, then you're not going to enjoy this at all, because that's not what this movie is about. This movie understands what it is, and it goes with that. It doesn't stray away and go, look, we're going to be this serious, apocalyptic, end of the world Terminator movie. No, that's not what it's trying to do. What it's trying to do is showcase you this fun scenario with comedic relief and characters who are just fun. And I must say, the nostalgia in this movie, oh man, when you see the dial-up, hilarious. I as soon as I heard the noise, I was like, oh, here we go. Beautiful, brilliant. The internet, when you watch it itself, hilarious. There's one moment where they are getting up a photo of a woman, and if you guys were alive back then and experienced this, you know exactly what it was like when you're trying to upload images on your computer, and it's like little bits by little bit. So you get the hair, then you get the forehead, then you get the eyes, and it just goes down and down. It takes like 45 minutes just to load this one image. It was every time things like that happen, burning on the disk, it just took me back to those times. So I thought what they did is they took this idea that was around there and they executed the nostalgia element of it brilliantly. They made me feel like I was back in 2000. That's what they did. They had the stores with the video stores and everything, the VHSs, which I'm just sitting there like, they nailed it. They nailed the aesthetic look of it. And the computers, everything like it, just felt like I was transported to that time. So they really nailed that. Now, when you get into the story, it is very much a story of computers start to take over the world, and they got to figure out a way to stop it. And look, there was a lot of blood and a lot of death in this movie that I didn't expect I was going to get. And some of the kills are brutal. I mean, they're creative. I have to say that. The kills in this movie are creative. When we're talking about CDs, we're talking about just outrageous stuff. There's this really funny moment with someone revolving around taking certain substance and thinking he's insane. It builds up beautifully, this moment. It builds up beautifully. The music is on point for that scene. And then what happens? It's just hilarious. So that all worked. And the story, like I said, the story is very, very it's not a deep story or anything like that, but it works. And it was executed well for this. The comedic stuff, the comedy landed for me. I was laughing. I was cracking up so much. There was times where certain characters were doing certain things where you're just laughing and hilarious. Just the way that they executed the timing of certain things popping up, popping away, character delivering the line. They just worked on that really, really well, and it just adds. You could have the best joke written of all time, but if you don't get the timing right, if you don't get the delivery right, that joke falls flat, and everyone's just like, well, that was a crap joke, wasn't it? Here, some of them do. Some of them you're like, oh, okay, that just didn't quite work. That was just kind of a bit cringy and corny there. But then majority of it, it's landing every single time. And you're like, okay, delivery, great. The actual line itself, the timing, perfect. So I really, really enjoyed that. Like I said, it gave me a big smile. I laughed. This soundtrack is brilliant. It's going to transport you back to those times as well. Just brilliant. Something I didn't really The thing I didn't really like about this is the whole ending of the movie itself. Like when they come to the final battle, there's a bit that happens with a character who's in a band and something that happens where the singing and stuff like that. And I was kind of like, uh, okay, this is kind of a bit. And with that, it kind of made the robots like these are like, supposed to be like AI intelligent like thing, but it just kind of felt like they weren't doing anything at that point. That is my big criticism is the final act there where I'm sitting there, I'm like, so you what? Like why aren't they doing anything? The robots don't do anything really, and I'm sitting there like that's kind of weird. And the way that they get in to the school at the end there, I was just kind of like, that's a bit convenient that they got in there with no one seeing them. Like there's little things like that where you're like, that's a bit convenient for that. But then again, this is a comedy, so I can sort of forgive it for that because, like I said, this isn't a movie where I'm supposed to really think deep and logical about. So when I take all that away and just sit there and just view it for what it was, then I enjoy it a lot more. So I'm not gonna destroy it for those little inconsistencies and logical errors that they have throughout the film because that's not what this film is about. It's not about me going into those little things and going, oh yeah, this and that. So if you just sit there and you just enjoy it and just have fun with it, I think you're going to get a lot out of it. Like the performances are great as well. The characters are fun. Eli is the main character and he has this really, really nice journey that we follow. His character arc is brilliant, especially with him and his friend, and then something happens and then you see the progress of him, and when we get to the end of the movie you just see he feels like a different person in a good way, but it's that journey and I thought it was good. So look, Y2K, I think it's a fun comedy. I think it's fun. Is it one of my favorite movies of the year? No, I wouldn't have it in my favorite movies of the year. Would I watch it again? Yeah, you know what? This would be something I would put on where I'm like sitting there and I'm bored. I'm like, I just want to put something on where I can just turn my brain off and just laugh and have fun. And that's what this movie would be. And they got a lot of jokes that we would say back then as well in that time period as well. That just brings back memories. And I think that's what this movie did really, really well. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys think of Y2K. Did you guys enjoy it? Maybe you didn't. Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe. And peace out.